Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered when your body stopped feeling like your own? Maybe it's the quiet fatigue that lingers even after a full night's rest, or that moment of hesitation when your partner reaches for you and you find yourself pulling away, not out of disinterest, but because something inside just isn't working the way it used to. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not broken. What if I told you that the real problem might not be age at all? That deep beneath the surface, your body could be calling out for something simple yet essential. 3 key vitamins that, when missing, can silently drain your energy, weaken your performance, and leave you feeling like a shadow of the man you used to be. I'm Dr. Mark, and for over 30 years, I've helped men over 60 restore the vitality they thought they had lost. Not with empty promises or miracle cures, but with science, clarity, and care. Today, I want to share with you the truth about these often overlooked nutrients and how they could quietly be the turning point your body has been waiting for. If you're still with me, stay a little longer. This might just be the moment everything starts to change. 1. Vitamin D, the circulation spark plug. I still remember the quiet frustration in Mr. Harold's voice, a 68-year-old former engineer who sat across from me one autumn morning. He looked down at his hands, then up at me with a half smile and said, "I love my wife deeply. I just wish my body would catch up with my heart." That moment stuck with me, because Harold wasn't alone. He echoed a truth so many men over 60 silently carry. The desire is still there, but the energy, the stamina, the physical connection, that often begins to slip away. And most don't realize that one of the simplest answers might be something as overlooked as vitamin D. For years, people have thought of vitamin D as just a bone health vitamin, something you get from the sun or give kids in a multivitamin. But after 60, it becomes so much more than that. It's like the ignition key for your entire circulatory system. Without it, your blood vessels lose their flexibility, blood flow weakens, and areas of your body that once responded eagerly begin to go quiet. The truth is, vitamin D helps your body produce nitric oxide, a vital molecule that widens your blood vessels and keeps blood moving where it's needed most. And not just for intimacy, but for energy, mental clarity, and vitality as a whole. Yet nearly half of older adults in the United States are deficient, not because they're lazy, not because they don't care, but because life changes. Maybe you're not out in the sun like you used to be. Maybe your skin doesn't absorb it as efficiently. Or maybe no one ever told you that vitamin D isn't optional anymore. It's foundational. When your levels are low, you might notice you get winded more easily. You feel sluggish during the day or disconnected at night. You may still want intimacy, but the response doesn't come. And the most damaging part, you start to question yourself. But the problem isn't you, it's chemistry. And the good news is, chemistry can change. A short walk in the early sun, just 15 to 20 minutes with your sleeves rolled up. More salmon, sardines, eggs, or fortified foods on your plate. And for many, a quality vitamin D3 supplement paired with K2 to support absorption can shift the entire way your body feels and functions. I've seen men in their 70s who couldn't walk more than a few blocks without fatigue come back weeks later, feeling lighter, clearer, even flirtatious again. And I've seen marriages rekindle, not through counseling, but through circulation. Because this isn't just about sex, it's about life force, about having the energy to dance in your kitchen, to walk hand in hand without worrying about stopping to catch your breath, to feel like you again. Vitamin D is not a miracle, but it is a key, and sometimes unlocking just one door in your health can make the whole house light up. But there's more. Because even when blood is flowing strong, your body still needs the fuel to carry that energy forward. And that brings us to the second vitamin E, the one that powers your cells from the inside out. Let's explore that next. 2. Vitamin B12, the energy generator. Not long ago, I sat with a man named Leonard, a 72-year-old retired firefighter. Broad-shouldered and full of stories, he looked like someone who had spent a lifetime facing down fires and challenges with strength and grit. But on this day, he sat slouched in his chair, eyes heavy, voice low. He told me, "I sleep through the night. I eat my meals, but I still wake up tired. My head's foggy. My body feels heavy. And when it comes to intimacy, I feel like I'm not really there anymore." That quiet confession didn't surprise me, because what Leonard described wasn't laziness, weakness, or aging catching up to him. It was a textbook sign of vitamin B12 deficiency. This single vitamin plays a role more powerful than most people realize. It's not just another item on a nutrition label. It is the switch that turns food into fuel. Without enough B12, it doesn't matter if you're eating balanced meals or sleeping a full night. Your body struggles to convert nutrients into usable energy. The result? You're running on an empty tank. Fatigue creeps in, focus fades, even joy starts to feel out of reach. But it goes deeper. B12 is essential for producing red blood cells, the carriers of oxygen to your brain, your muscles, and the parts of you that define energy, vitality, and yes, even masculinity. When those cells are in short supply, your system begins to slow. You may find yourself taking longer to recover from a walk, forgetting words mid-sentence, or feeling a quiet disconnection from the people and passions that once lit you up. And here's the catch that many don't see coming. As we age, our stomach's ability to absorb B12 from food declines significantly. You could be eating eggs, dairy, or meat every day and still come up short. That's why so many older men appear normal on paper, but feel far from it in real life. No major illness, no red flags in the blood work. But deep down, something just feels off. The good news is that once you identify a B12 deficiency, the path forward is often simple and effective. High-quality supplements or doctor-administered injections can make a world of difference. I've seen men like Leonard go from needing an afternoon nap just to get through the day to feeling energized enough to hike, travel, reconnect, and re-engage with life in ways they thought were behind them. Their faces light up. Their laughter returns. That fog that once clouded their thinking lifts, and in its place is a renewed sense of clarity and confidence. But as powerful as B12 is, it isn't the end of the story. Because energy alone doesn't protect your body. You also need something that supports your blood vessels, lowers inflammation, and strengthens the hormonal foundation of your masculinity. This next vitamin has often been called the fertility vitamin, but its real power reaches much farther. It is the silent guardian behind healthy testosterone levels and strong circulation. And chances are, if you're not paying attention to it, your levels are already slipping. Let's turn to that next. 3. Vitamin E, the fertility defender. I'll never forget the day Richard, a 70-year-old retired pilot, sat across from me. He had that unmistakable presence, the kind of calm confidence that only thousands of hours in the sky can teach. But on this day, his voice was unsteady. "I eat right. I exercise. I'm doing everything they say I should. But lately, I just don't feel like myself. My drive is gone. My recovery is slow. And if I'm honest, I don't feel like a man anymore." That admission hit deeper than most, because Richard was not careless. He was meticulous, proud, and fiercely devoted to staying strong for his family and his wife. And yet something inside him had started to fade. What Richard was missing wasn't obvious. It wasn't in his lab work or his workout routine. It was vitamin E, and not the kind people think about when they hear skin cream or capsules on a pharmacy shelf. I'm talking about real functional vitamin E, the kind that acts as a powerful antioxidant, defending your body against the slow, invisible fire of aging. Over time, oxidative stress and inflammation begin to chip away at a man's blood vessels, hormone balance, and reproductive vitality. It doesn't happen overnight, but little by little, it erodes strength, passion, and performance. Vitamin E helps fight back. It keeps your blood vessels flexible and your circulation flowing smoothly. And that matters more than most men realize, because the ability to perform intimately isn't just about desire, it's about blood reaching the right places. If that flow weakens, so does performance. And it's not just physical. Low vitamin E is linked to declining testosterone levels too, which can ripple into your mood, your motivation, and your sense of confidence as a man. Testosterone is not just about libido. It shapes how you carry yourself, how you lead, how you show up in the world with presence and strength. The beautiful thing is that restoring vitamin E doesn't require complicated steps. Nature already gives us what we need. Almonds, sunflower seeds, olive oil, spinach, and Swiss chard are rich sources. And for those who need a little more support, high-quality natural vitamin E supplements can help close the gap. I've seen men like Richard return just a few months later with a new energy in their eyes. Not just because their body started to respond again, but because they began to feel like themselves again. Fully present, reconnected, alive. But here's what might surprise you. These three vitamins, D, B12, and E, they don't just work in isolation. When combined with intention and consistency, they create something more. A quiet synergy that starts in your cells and radiates into your daily life. Energy returns, blood flows, focus sharpens, and for many men, aging no longer feels like a slow surrender, but a powerful new chapter. So let's take a moment to see what happens when these essential nutrients come together. Because the real transformation begins when they're working side by side. 4. Why these three vitamins work better together. There was a man named Gerald who came to see me some years back. He was 68, a retired high school coach, still broad-shouldered from his athletic days, and full of that determined energy coaches always seem to carry. But that day, he wasn't his usual self. He told me, "I've been taking vitamin D for a while, added B12 last year when I felt drained, and now I'm trying vitamin E like you said, but I still feel like something's missing." We talked, adjusted a few things, and the next time I saw him, he walked through the door with a grin that lit up the room. "Doc," he said, "I don't know what kind of magic you gave me, but I feel like someone replaced my engine." And the truth is, there was no magic, just the power of synergy. You see, each of these three vitamins plays a role on its own, but it's when they're taken together in the right way that something remarkable happens. Vitamin D opens the gates for healthy blood flow by boosting nitric oxide. Vitamin B12 fills that flowing blood with oxygen by helping create strong red blood cells. And vitamin E protects the pathways those cells travel through, while also helping your body keep testosterone balanced. It's like building a team where every player brings out the best in the others. One supports circulation, another fuels the body with oxygen, and the third protects and regulates the system that holds it all together. I call it the vitality triangle. This harmony is especially powerful after 60, when your body begins to shift in subtle but important ways. Absorption slows down, inflammation creeps in, recovery takes longer, and sometimes, no matter how hard you try, something still feels out of sync. That's because missing even one piece of this triangle can make everything feel off. But when they're working in unison, something clicks. You wake up feeling rested instead of groggy. Your thoughts feel clearer. You move with more ease and respond with more confidence, not just in the bedroom or the gym, but in conversations, in decisions, in the quiet pride of feeling like yourself again. That's what happened to Gerald, and he's not an exception. I've seen the same transformation in dozens of men over the years, not because they found some secret shortcut, but because they stayed consistent, gave their bodies what they truly needed, and trusted the process long enough to see the change. But here's the part most men miss. Even if you're taking all the right vitamins, there's one common mistake that can quietly erase your progress. It's something many people never think about, yet it's one of the biggest reasons these nutrients don't do their job. And if you're not aware of it, you might be making the same mistake without even knowing. Let's take a closer look. 5. The one mistake most men make. One crisp morning, a man named Charles stepped into my office carrying a plastic bag from the grocery store. He was 74, bright-eyed, articulate, and clearly a man who had spent time doing his research. He placed the bag on my desk, pulled out a handful of supplement bottles, and laid them out in front of me like a man presenting evidence in court. "Doc," he said, "I've been taking all of these for months, every day, but I still wake up tired. My mind's not sharp. And down there, nothing's changed." His voice wasn't angry. It was weary. And I've heard that same note in many voices before. The truth is, Charles wasn't doing anything wrong on purpose. He was trying. He was showing up. But like so many men over 60, he'd fallen into a trap that's more common than you'd think. The biggest mistake I see isn't laziness. It's assuming that all supplements are created equal. They're not. The form, the source, and the consistency with which you take them all matter more than most realize. Buying the cheapest bottle from a shelf or clicking on the first thing that pops up online often means you're getting something your body can't even use. Take vitamin B12. Most generic brands use cyanocobalamin, a synthetic form that many older adults cannot effectively convert into the active form needed for energy. What you want is methylcobalamin. It costs more, yes, but it works. The same goes for vitamin D. D2 is easier to manufacture and often less expensive, but D3 is far more effective for boosting energy, supporting circulation, and strengthening bones. And with vitamin E, synthetic blends often lack the full spectrum of compounds your body needs to protect testosterone and keep your blood vessels healthy. But even the right forms are useless if they're taken inconsistently. Popping a pill once or twice a week when you remember isn't enough. Your body doesn't respond to sporadic effort. It responds to rhythm. Daily rhythm. Think of it like watering a plant. A single downpour once a week won't keep the roots healthy. It's the small, steady drops each day that make things grow. Your energy, your clarity, your drive, they all need that same consistency. Once Charles understood this, we made a simple switch. He upgraded to higher quality supplements. He committed to taking them daily at the same time each morning. No fanfare, no complicated plan. And within a few short weeks, the change was undeniable. His eyes were brighter, his mood steadier. He told me with a quiet smile, "I feel like a man again." And that shift didn't come from pushing harder. It came from aligning with what his body truly needed. Now that you understand the importance of quality and consistency, the next question is how to actually build this into your day. How do you create a simple, reliable routine that supports your energy, performance, and vitality without turning your life upside down? That's exactly what we'll explore next. Let's design something that works for you, something real, something sustainable, and something that helps you feel strong and alive every single day. 6. Your daily vitality routine. When I sit down with older men, there's one question I hear more than any other. It often comes with a quiet mix of frustration and hope. "Doc, just tell me what to do each day. I don't need something fancy. I just want something that works." That request speaks to something deeper than routine. It speaks to a man's desire to feel strong again. Not to chase youth, but to reclaim presence, energy, and confidence in his body, in his mind, and in his relationships. Let me tell you about Martin. He was 66 when he came to see me, a former carpenter with a gentle voice and calloused hands. Years of hard work had shaped his body, but lately life had worn him down. His sleep was restless, his energy dipped before noon, and the connection he once had with his wife felt distant. We didn't turn his life upside down. We simply created a rhythm, a daily pattern anchored in the vitamins we've been discussing, and slowly his strength returned. Each morning, Martin began with a tall glass of water and his vitamin B12, always taken with a breakfast rich in protein. Eggs, cottage cheese, or a small bowl of Greek yogurt gave his body the fuel it needed to absorb and use the nutrient. After breakfast, he'd step outside. Even on cloudy days, he'd spend 15 minutes walking through his yard or along the sidewalk, soaking up whatever light the day offered. If the sun was hiding or the season was cold, he took a quality vitamin D3 with his first meal to support his circulation and mood. At lunch, Martin kept it simple. A salad with spinach or Swiss chard, a handful of almonds or sunflower seeds, and a light drizzle of olive oil gave him a healthy dose of vitamin E. No powders, no extreme rules, just real food, real vitamins, and a routine his body could trust. Within a few weeks, the changes were clear. He wasn't just sleeping better, he was laughing more. He had energy to chase his grandkids across the backyard. He leaned over one afternoon and said, "I don't feel young, I feel alive." And sometimes that's even better. The truth is, you don't need a medicine cabinet full of pills or a complicated schedule to feel like yourself again. What you need is consistency. You need nutrients your body can absorb. You need moments of movement, sunlight, and real food. And most importantly, you need a mindset that reminds you that you are still in the driver's seat. No matter your age, no matter your past, your health is still yours to shape. And now, as we bring this journey to a close, I want to offer you something more. A message not from a doctor, but from one man to another. If you've ever quietly wondered whether it's too late to feel strong, desired, and fully alive again, I have something important to say. Let's talk about that next. If you've made it this far, I want to speak to you not as a doctor, but as someone who spent over 30 years listening to men just like you. Men who have given their lives to work, to family, to doing the right thing, and now they find themselves quietly wondering, why doesn't my body feel like it used to? That question is not weakness, it's a sign of strength. It means you still care. You're still in the fight. You still want to feel alive. Today we talked about 3 powerful allies. Vitamin D, the spark that opens your blood vessels and helps you feel grounded again. Vitamin B12, the silent engine that fuels your focus, stamina, and energy. And vitamin E, the guardian that protects your heart and helps your testosterone stay steady and strong. But this isn't just about vitamins. It's about reclaiming a part of yourself that you thought was gone. I've seen what happens when a man stops waiting and starts acting. When he takes that first morning walk. When he takes his supplements not out of routine, but out of intention. When he says yes to his health, yes to his future, yes to the quiet strength still living inside him. If you've been feeling like your best days are behind you, hear me clearly. They don't have to be. There is still time. Time to feel strong again. Time to reconnect. Time to walk with pride in your body and in your life. If this message spoke to you, leave a comment below with the words, "I'm ready." I read every single one. And if you found value in this, consider tapping the like button or sharing it with a friend who needs it. Your support helps us reach more men who deserve to hear this truth. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe so you never miss the tools and insights that could change the way you feel every single day. Take care of yourself. You matter. And in the next video, we'll go even deeper into how you can keep your body sharp, your spirit strong, and your future bright. I'll see you there.